So, not too much to say on this one, but I still wanted to record something. I've been pretty busy with the end of year school assignments and finals, or getting ready for them at least. So, I haven't had too much time to study. I've also been sort of working on negotiating some terms for the business that I was talking about in the last one, and that's been taking up a decent amount of time. So, I'm hoping that I'll have some more time to study, and I'm pretty sure that I will have some more time to study as soon as school ends. So that's next week we'll finish up finals, and then I'll have a month-long break, and I'm pretty sure I'll have a lot of time to study then, which will be great. And recently I've been working on trend lines. So as I mentioned last time, I've been working through the top pick trading course, and I just went through the trend line lectures. To be honest, I wasn't super impressed with that section, but at the same time, I don't know how much you can really teach someone about trend lines. I feel like it's mainly just going to come down to practice. So that's what I've been doing for studying recently, is just going through all of 2022's charts and marking up the trend lines and comparing them to MAC. That's been pretty helpful. I know I found that after doing a few of them, even just a couple, that my trend lines get better as the day goes on. So I've been thinking that it could be super helpful to mark up a couple of these blank charts and compare them to MAC before the trading day to sort of like warm myself up. And I decided that this would probably be a good idea like last week, I think, but I have yet to do it. I've been waking up kind of late. Usually I'll wake up at 9, market opens at 9:30, so I'll make some breakfast and maybe some tea, and by that time the market's basically open. So if I want to do that, I'm going to have to wake up a little bit earlier, which is kind of a bummer, but it's still not like it's that early, so I can definitely make that happen. I'm going back to trading the 1 to 2 risk to reward. I looked at my equity curve and it basically went straight up and then was just slowly rising whenever I was doing strictly 1 to 2. And then I decided to drop that down to doing 1 to 1 and sometimes 1 to 1.5. And I was rarely doing 1 to 2. I did this because I saw lots of trades that almost hit 1 to 2 and then didn't quite do it. So I was like, oh, well, maybe if I just, drop that down a little bit, then that'll be good. And also I was sort of just setting my targets in places where right before there's support or resistance, or right before the new extreme for a break in new extreme. But my equity curve is falling, so I'm going back to just trying 1 to 2. Honestly, it doesn't really matter much for learning since I'm in sim and I'm taking just about the same trades anyway. So I don't think it's really going to impact my learning curve, regardless of whether I chose to go for 1 to 2, 1 to 4, 1 to 10. Who cares? I'm taking the same trades anyway, and I'm comparing them to max anyway. So it doesn't really matter, but it's interesting to see how that sort of impacts my equity curve. I recently, actually just a couple days ago, got these noise canceling headphones. There's no music, it's just purely noise canceling, like you'd use on like a gun range or something. And today was my first day of using these. I got them to use while I'm trading. I live with 3 other people, roommates, and they're not exactly quiet. And to be honest, they don't get too distracting, but even just that little bit, obviously doesn't help. So I wanted to try out just knocking out all the sound, and I tried using earbuds, or not earbuds, but earplugs. But I don't love those, because whenever I like move around or if I swallow or something, you can hear them like sort of move around in your ear. So I've liked these a lot better. Like I said, I only used them today and this is the first time, so I'll have to do a little bit more to really decide if I like it. But so far, I did like it. And one thing that I noticed today while I was using those, and this isn't necessarily just due to the headphones, but it is, I guess, a little bit, is I was trying to focus more on the feel of a trade and just feeling out the market as opposed to trying to overanalyze. So just sort of mark up the trend lines that I think are correct and then just sort of sitting and just feeling it out. And there were a couple trades that I thought looked good analysis-wise, but I just really, I just focused on the intuitive feel, if you will, and decided not to take them, and they didn't work out. So, maybe there's something there. It's something that I want to keep sort of diving into, and hopefully I can remember. I might have to stick maybe a sticky note on my screen to remember. I've got a couple of those already. So that's something I'm going to keep looking into. So I've been, recently, I would say a couple months ago, I started listening to lots of audiobooks. And before that, I was listening to the MP3 versions of Mac's soapboxes. So whenever there's a soapbox in one of Mac's episodes where he's talking about, the truth in trading, basically, I'll just sort of mark that video down with the time that the soapbox starts. And every now and then I'll go and I'll clip up the MP3s for those, and I keep those on my phone so then I can listen to them sort of like little podcasts or audiobooks. And where I was going with that is I wasn't listening to those recently, just because I was listening to other things. And I recently, probably last week, got back into listening to them, and they're just super helpful. I really like hearing just his positive words of keep going, really, is the main thing, and it's really helpful. So if anyone would like me to post the link to those, I keep them in a Google Drive. I posted them in the forum, Mac's forum as well. But if anyone's not in the forum and wants those, then I can drop the link somewhere for you guys to check them out. Like I said, I really like listening to them throughout the day. It's like studying without actually having to really study. It definitely helps the mindset. So yeah, that's all I had for today. Not too much. But we'll see. Maybe this over the next month or so, I'll be able to study a lot more and hopefully learn some stuff and come back on here with some more information.